glad you said that. Well, right. Because I wanted to put him down to a better basically. Right. And you put us was that example you gave us? Are you speaking to? Does it work from does it still work? Do you feel what you if I go and the same thing? Or does it have to be good? You know what? Even if you were going to be sarcastic and ironic, I think you should still act as though it was personal in order to leave this kind of stuff. Right? Yeah. So let's just say this. So let's just say it was yeah. Right. I know that you're not me. This was like, yeah, but well, right. Because I wanted to put him down to a better basically. Right. And you put us was that example you gave us? Are you speaking to? Does it work from does it still work? Do you feel what you if I go and the same thing? Or does it have to be good? You know what? Even if you were going to be sarcastic and ironic, I think you should still act as though it was personal in order to leave this kind of stuff. Right? Yeah. So let's just say this. So let's just say it was yeah. Great. I know that you're not me. This was like, yeah, I'm glad you said that. Well, right. Because I wanted to put him down to a better basically. Right. And you put us was that example you gave us? Are you speaking to? Does it work from does it still work? Do you feel what you if I go and the same thing? Or does it have to be good? You know what? Even if you were going to be sarcastic and ironic, I think you should still act as though it was personal in order to leave this kind of stuff. Right? Yeah. So let's just say this. So let's just say it was yeah. Great. I know that you're not me. This was like, yeah, I'm glad you said that. Well, right. Because I wanted to put him down to a better basically. Right. And you put us was that example you gave us? Are you speaking to? Does it work from does it still work? Do you feel what you if I go and the same thing? Or does it have to be good? You know what? Even if you were going to be sarcastic and ironic, I think you should still act as though it was personal in order to leave this kind of stuff. Right? Yeah. So let's just say this. So let's just say it was yeah. Great. I know that you're not me. This was like, yeah, I'm glad you said that. Well, right. Because I wanted to put him down to a better basically. Right. And you put us was that example you gave us? Are you speaking to? Does it work from does it still work? Do you feel what you if I go and the same thing? Or does it have to be good? You know what? Even if you were going to be sarcastic and ironic, I think you should still act as though it was personal. Yeah, let's just say this. So let's just say it was yeah. Great. I know that you're not me. This was like, yeah, I'm glad you said that. Well, right. Because I wanted to put him down to a better basically. Right. And you put us example between us? Yeah. Yeah. So let's just say so let's right. So let's just say it was yeah. Great. I know that you're the not me. This was like well, right. Because I wanted to put him down here, but basically right. And with that example, are you
does it work does it still work? Do you feel this is what you if I go and the same thing? Or does it have to be
you know what? Even if you were going to be sarcastic and ironic, I think you should still act as though it was personal in order to leave the kind of stuff. Right?
Yeah. So let's just say
So let's right. So let's just say it was yeah. sorry. So what you say was, yeah. I know that you're the sexist, not me. This was like, yeah, but right. You know, because I wanted to put him down to a better level, basically, right? And with that example, yeah, on the streets.
Does it work from the, like, does it still work? Or do you feel support you like go and the same thing? Or does it have to be
You know what? Even if you were going to be sarcastic and ironic,
Testing the mic audio. Testing the mic audio. Testing the mic audio.
you know, because I wanted to put him down to a better level, basically, right?
Okay, this seems to be better. Seems to work now.
You know what? Even if you were going to be sarcastic and ironic, I think you should still act as though it was personal in order to leave.
12 minutes in. I'm gonna get started here. Sorry about the quality of the sound. I am using the mic on my controller. I was just testing out the audio and the level. Finally found a setting that wasn't muting this mic or blocking this mic. Probably not the best mic of choice, but you know, it's what I'm using for now. And so yeah, this is a Stanley Parable. And I don't know much about it. I think it's kind of a weird game from what I understand. Maybe a mind-bending, mind-twisting game, puzzle game, maybe a little bit even. I don't know. We'll find out. Sorry for the delay. I was just working out things with the mic, but hopefully can work this out in the future for however much more I broadcast. Anyway, let me get started here.
You know, because I wanted to put him down to a better level, basically, right? And with that example, yeah, on the streets.
does it work from the, like, does it still work? Do you feel support you like go and the same thing? Or does it have to be
You know what? Even if you were going to be sarcastic and ironic, I think you should still act as though it was personal in order to leave
Yeah, so let's just say
So let's try. So what you say was, yeah.
Begin the game. Yeah, this was one of the free games on the
This is the story
PS5
of a man named Stanley.
last month. Thought I would try it out. I know
Stanley
people
worked for a
played it in
company
the
in a big
past.
building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor at his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-eating, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job.
Exactly for this job. He was happy.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened.
Oh
Something
no.
that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi.
Everybody's
Never in all
gone.
his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time.
Oh,
But as he
man.
came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Okay. I have the control now. I can duck. Let's see. I hate, what, Mondays? Can I jump? It's not. R2 and R, or L2 and L1 do the same thing pretty much. Another office.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Missed a memo. Meeting room. Right. Is this the meeting room? More offices, cubicles. Must be a puzzle in and of itself to find this damn meeting room, huh?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I wonder what happens if I go on the right. It says enter the door on the left. I'm gonna go on the right.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Employee lounge. 489 or 4B9, is that what that is? Oh, this is the employee
Yes,
lounge.
truly a room worth admiring. It had
I
really
look
been
out the
worth
window,
the
I
detour
can't.
after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking
Up
it
on
all
the floor.
in. Yes, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly
Yes, it is.
captivating that even
I wonder
though
how many
all
different
your
lines there
co-workers
are
have
if I just
mysteriously
stay around
vanished,
in here.
here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it. At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left.
Possible.
Stanley sat around waiting for more dialogue, but at last he'd had enough of the
The
amazing
amazing
room
room.
and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
Wait, did that close? I guess so. Why'd they open that door? What if I want to go back where I came from? What?
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Surely not. Come on, I was gonna go back through there. Freaking close it on me. Freak. The heck? I'm hitting the X button. What does that do? Must be an action button of some sort.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Her. Her? Who is she? Ooh, forklift. Ooh, black room. What the hell?
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Okay, how do I do that? Okay, is it X? It's not giving me any option. There we go. Finally.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. Oh, right.
Bread? What kind of bread?
Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
What the fudge?
Gotcha! Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley.
Okay.
I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's
Hilarious.
really going
Ha
on
ha
here.
ha.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
What? Good morning, employee 427. Press triangle on your controller. Okay.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told
yeah.
to do. Now
Exactly.
he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life. But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Press down button on the D-pad to watch TV.
And so he began to fantasize about his
what?
own job.
Where'd the TV go?
First, he imagined that one
TV's
day while
gone.
at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth.
Oh no, what a
it sent him
terrible
totally.
tragedy. Press up on the D-pad to spend time with the boys. Really?
So he went further. He
With the
imagined that he
boys.
came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. and down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions, and down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
Press square to tell your kids a story.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Do not do it. Wonder if you really can go on without pushing a button, or if you really have to be at work in the morning. I'll wait a little bit, but the game might make you do it. Just sit here and watch the clock and watch the clock and watch the clock. Figure the dialogue guy would at least say something smart. Begin the game again. Yeah, he's not even saying anything. You'd figure he at least would have had some dialogue. Guess you're definitely supposed to press it.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Could question nothing.
I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button.
Please die.
And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
Okay. Did he deaded? Oh, Stanley. Now what?
All of his co-workers were gone.
Voiceovers.
What could it mean?
What could it
Stanley
mean?
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Awaiting input.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
The door on his left. Yeah, I was going to go back and take it, but it locked me off, which I guess is what the game does. Creepy things like that. Ooh, look, nothing but white.
Yet there was
this
not a
unlocked?
single
Yep, it
person here
does.
either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Using slides to assure employees that everything is okay. What the heck? Everyone is unique. You, most of all. Does this repeat, or does it just want you to read all of them? Number of slides on this slide. Slides, charts, and slides. Where's the projector? Oh, it's up there. Rate at which charts on the same slide depict the same something. Rate of increase in graphs per slide. Please no more charts. Please no more. Stop. Boss appreciation minute. 20 things you love most about your boss. Fill out. Interpersonal conflict. What are your dreams? Clear skin. Profits. I don't know how to spell profits. Tips for not getting fired. Don't get fired. Everyone is unique. Monetize free to play. What? Is this for like a gaming company or something? Oh, door shut again.
Coming to a staircase,
Guess every door you go
Stanley
through pretty
walked
much shut.
upstairs to his boss's office.
Upstairs. Executive bathroom, huh? It's a special bathroom.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
The tall ceiling
Shocked,
freaking office.
unraveled,
Dang.
Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
2845. What did he say? The keypad here?
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs.
Twiddling his
Trying to input anything on
thumbs.
the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
2845. Me deliberately trying to enter on the wrong one.
2845.
2, 8. I didn't know if he'd have something smart as to say or something, or if something else would happen entering a wrong one. 2845.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad,
Random.
Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Newly opened passageway. Going over here. What? What is this? Going down? Like a Resident Evil elevator. Ha ha ha.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Mind Control Facility. That's always assuring. Escape? No, I think I'm gonna go in here instead. Ooh, light bulb.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Let's find out.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed.
Fired.
Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Fired. Walk to the next platform. Good old monitors.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof, the heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions.
Mind control
Happy,
status
or sad,
offline.
or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
He would, huh? Okay. Mind controls idle. Awaiting input. It would end it, huh? Off.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes.
Is it over?
He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to
the
feel.
outside world.
Whatever
Probably
life
just
he
a
lives,
screen.
it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing.
Yep. Just
Stanley stepped through the open door.
walking here. It's just a screen, right?
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation,
What? Maybe not.
the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley
Was it?
was
Really?
happy.
Oh, happy Stanley. Happy, happy Stanley. Alright, we're back in office. Yeah, this is basically the gist of this game. I think it keeps resetting like this, and different things happen or don't happen. You think the game kind of messes with you. Kind of like I said, mind twisting and mind bending sometimes. But I think I'm going to cut it here. I know it hasn't been long, but it's pretty late at night. I'm pretty tired, and yeah, interesting. May try to get on and play some more, or I may do something else the next time I'm on. I know it's rare and far and in between, but maybe I can stream more. If anyone checks this out, appreciate your view, give it a like. If not, then it won't matter, and nothing will ever be heard. But yeah, cutting it off here. TicTacTyrant out.